What's up? It's your boy Karceno here, and let's talk about it. Now, the NBA has a serious problem on their hands. And when they come up for the next bargaining agreements, a strike is imminent. All of these deals that went on in free agency, it's only going to happen again, and again. You live in a monkey see, monkey do era. If they see one guy do it, they all are gonna feel like they're entitled. Everyone wants to be paid like a franchise player when they're a bunch of role players. That was the problem with the league. It started in the 2000s and it hasn't changed. You start seeing these astronomical contracts for people who didn't deserve them. And they start using points and rebounds and start using computer analysts to make these decisions. Like, well, he did have 10 and he did average 24 or 22 and 10. That's a double double, and he averaged it for the season. But is it impactful to how we won the game? All of these things should matter, but they weren't. People were just saying this is the going rate. And if they see one idiot get a deal like that, then the others follow suit. As you saw in this free agency, and you saw before then, you saw Chris Paul, the president of the Players Union, get the largest contract a president of the Players Union has ever received for playing basketball. Not to say Chris Paul isn't a great basketball player, but at this stage in his career, that kind of contract was ludicrous. No one was going to pay him that kind of money on no team anywhere. So for Houston to take that risk was insanity. Now you look at all these other players saying, you know what, we're going to jump ship. We'll bypass that 20, $30 million extra. I want to go play with him over there so we can have a chance to win the championship. Yay. This is not what's good for the NBA. People think this is what's great for the NBA. The NBA is going to be happy. Look at all the excitement. Now everything is even. No, it's not. Only me and Charles Barkley seem to see the same scenario of what's wrong with this pitcher. Charles Barkley said it himself. If they keep doing it like this, I'm telling you right now, there's going to be another strike because all these players jumping up and going to these other teams, I don't think OKC and Toronto are happy. I don't think everybody else talking about, oh, they're happy. I don't think OKC and Toronto is happy, and all these small markets are not going to be happy with all these players that they didn't develop getting up and leaving the city and going to play with their buddies. It's going to lead to a strike, and the league going to have to do something. When Charles said that, I'm like, that's what I've been saying. That's 100% what I've been saying. While everybody's jumping up with pom-poms and cheering, what this is doing is ruining the league. You guys don't understand how basketball works, do you? Let me explain to you how the marketing game of basketball works and why Adam Silverslipper had to come out and make the statement that he did because he realizes there is a problem. Because teams are built on communication. Okay, the fans, the true people that buy these season tickets, they feel like they have a connection with the athletes and the players that's on the court. They do things within the community. The NBA helps set up these charity events where the people in the town get to see them, when they're not playing basketball for a couple of events. The team will show up and do something for the local hospital or anywhere they go to like say thank you for coming to see us. Even though we don't win the championship or might not have a chance to, Thank you for coming to watch us play. We appreciate you. You know, so the players, the family members go buy their kids jerseys, you know, for their team and all that. That's merchandising. They're selling. Now, kids are like, I'm not going to buy the jersey because I think he's going to leave next year. Now, you're not selling merchandise no more. That town loses that market of money being generated for the town. Because now the support is dwindling. They lost the trust of the people who are buying tickets. Did you see how it works now? You look at what happened in Seattle. They lose Gary Payton. They lose Sean Kemp. They lose their head coach. They lose the team. They've been fighting to get it back, but they lost their team. People were so hurt, they ended up losing the team. Sacramento, they're just starting to rebuild after they fought to keep the team. They're fighting back with these young players that they had, but all their players were leaving them since the Chris Webber days, the Bibbies, and all of those days back then. Guys just started walking away. So you see, we're not saying it to hate on anybody. We're just saying that this destroys the league. Because, yeah, it's good for those teams that got all those players. Yeah, it's good for them. But what about the rest of the league? It's not good for them. It's not good for Toronto. It's not good for OKC. It's not good for these small market teams. And they're right. It's not. So, this is the reason. This is the reason. It is the absolute, full, complete reason as to why people get upset when this happens. And they don't care. They don't care. The NBA is going to care. And when the league goes on strike, and they are going on strike, when that next bargaining agreement comes up, there will be a strike. They're not going to settle. They're going to have to strike. The owners are going to have to show they mean business. Because, believe me, they are not happy. And there's one guy you got to thank for all of this. It's one guy who deserves all of your credit and the love. But when this thing is up in flames, everybody's like, how did we get here? It's one guy you got to blame. And you know his name. And it rhymes with James. We know that, right? You know that, right? Please tell me you know. You got to know. It's only one person to blame. And that's James.